Broncos country, did you hear what just happened? Riley Moss, our cornerback, just made a statement that's going to make everyone stop and listen. He said he took that Chargers touchdown personally. That's right, personally. The guy took full responsibility for that brutal play that cost us our victory last Sunday. But hold on, family, because there's much more behind this statement than you imagine. What really happened in that crucial moment? Why is Moss being the most targeted player in the entire NFL? And most importantly, how will this impact our next battle against the Bengals on Monday night? Stay with me until the end because I'm going to reveal details that will completely change your perspective on our number 21. And look, Broncos country, prepare your hearts because this conversation is going to be intense. Let's start with what really matters here, Denver Broncos family. Riley Moss isn't just another cornerback trying to prove himself in the league. He's the guy playing opposite Patrick Surtain too. And everyone who understands football knows exactly what that means. When you play alongside one of the best corners in the NFL, you automatically become the preferred target of every opposing quarterback. It's like having a giant arrow pointed directly at you. Sean Payton, our head coach, has made it clear. Moss is going to get a lot of action because teams do everything they can to avoid throwing toward Surtain. And check out this stat that's going to blow your minds. Riley Moss is currently the second most targeted cornerback in the entire NFL. That's right, Broncos country, our boy is being tested by the best quarterbacks in the country every week. In the first 3 weeks of the season, he faced 27 pass attempts in his direction and allowed only 13 receptions for 170 yards. Wait, let me repeat that because many people aren't paying attention to these numbers. 13 receptions on 27 attempts. That's a completion percentage of less than 50%. For a cornerback who's being attacked constantly, these are very respectable numbers. But that's where all the drama comes in, family. That specific play against the Chargers last Sunday is stuck in everyone's head. Justin Herbert made one of those circus plays, scrambling out of the pocket, running to the side and throwing a ball to the corner of the end zone that found the receiver at just the right time. And Moss? The guy was glued to the receiver, made practically perfect coverage, but the ball still reached its target. It was one of those plays where you can't do much except applaud the opposing quarterback, but the cornerback always takes the blame. Now comes the part that truly moves me about this kid. Instead of making excuses, instead of shifting responsibility elsewhere, Riley Moss took full responsibility for the loss. He said verbatim, "I take that personally, allowing that touchdown at the end, but we're going to get better from it." Broncos country, can you feel the pain in his voice? It just sucks. We're tired of losing games like this. That phrase sums up everything we're feeling as fans. 3 weeks into the season, 2 losses by minimal details, and our cornerback taking responsibility like a true leader. But let me tell you what really happened in that game that many people didn't see. Remember that Brandon Jones interception in the first half? Well, it was Riley Moss who dove to deflect Herbert's pass. The ball went up in the air, and Jones got the interception. That play took important points away from the Chargers early in the game, so we have an interesting paradox here, family. The same player who made a spectacular defensive play in the first half is being crucified for a play at the end where he literally did everything right, but the opposing quarterback was simply exceptional. And you know what else impresses me about this kid? His mentality. Moss has a fundamental characteristic that every cornerback needs to have: selective amnesia. He can digest disappointment and move on to the next challenge without letting past mistakes haunt him. We couldn't get the job done last week. We couldn't get the job done this week. At the end of the day, we need to win these games, especially the close ones. We have to be able to finish. We all take that personally. This statement shows the level of maturity and responsibility this guy has at 24 years old. He's not running from the pressure. He's not trying to share the blame. He's taking responsibility like a veteran would. Now let's talk about the bigger context here. Broncos country. Our defense has made important plays in the last 2 weeks, but still hasn't achieved that complete performance needed to beat undefeated teams like the Steelers and Chargers. And Moss perfectly understands what the problem is. The defensive line played really well today. They got to the quarterback with some sacks, contained the quarterback And then in the backfield, we need to do a better job on scramble plays, sticking to receivers, and finishing there. This technical analysis shows that Moss isn't just feeling the emotional pressure of defeat. He's studying the game, understanding where the defense as a whole needs to improve. When the quarterback leaves the pocket and starts improvising, the entire secondary needs to adjust instantly, and he knows that. What catches my attention most is how he's handling criticism from the fan base. Let's be honest here, family. After 2 consecutive losses by details, some sectors of Broncos country are losing patience and blaming specific players. Moss has become one of the preferred targets of criticism. But look at his mentality. There's not going to be a pity party here. We're going to keep attacking every day. And it's tough, but we were built for this. Broncos country, that's championship mentality. A third-year player who's being bombarded by criticism, facing the best receivers in the league every week, and still maintains confidence and determination to improve. And there's something else you need to understand about Riley Moss's situation. He's not just another cornerback trying to survive in the NFL. Remember that last year he had a breakout season, showing flashes of the potential that got him drafted by the Broncos. The pressure on him isn't just because of recent losses. It's because everyone knows he has the talent to be a high-level cornerback in the league. And when you have that potential, expectations automatically get higher. Now, talking about numbers and statistics, let's put things in perspective. Being the second most targeted cornerback in the NFL and still maintaining a completion percentage below 50% is no joke. Most quarterbacks have completion percentages well above that when attacking specific corners. The problem is that in football, especially in the NFL, one play can define the entire perception of a player. It doesn't matter if you made 10 good coverages in the game, if you allow a crucial touchdown at the end. That's what everyone will remember. And that's happening with Moss now. That Chargers play is being replayed in all the highlights, analyzed on all the shows, and generating all this pressure on him. But let me tell you something. Denver Broncos family. Great cornerbacks are forged exactly in these situations. Champ Bailey went through this. Chris Harris Jr. went through this. Every corner who became elite in the league had to face this kind of adversity early in their career. The difference is in how the player responds. Some collapse under pressure, others use it as fuel to improve. And from what we're seeing in Moss's statements, he clearly belongs to the second group. With the loss, it sucks. I think we played better as a defense this week than last week, and we're going to keep improving. But it sucks. We're all tired of losing games like this. There's going to be fire under our ass to start rolling here. Can you feel the frustration, but also the determination in those words? He's not giving up. He's preparing for war. And speaking of war, family, our next battle is Monday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. And look, if you think the pressure was already high, wait to see what's coming. The Bengals have elite receivers like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Joe Burrow is a quarterback who doesn't forgive mistakes in the secondary. It's exactly the type of test that will show what Riley Moss is made of. But here's the thing. Broncos country. Great moments create great players. Moss has all the physical and mental tools to succeed in this game. What he needs now is support from the fan base, not destructive criticism. Look, I'm not saying we should coddle players when they make mistakes, but there's a difference between constructive criticism and gratuitous destruction. Moss is clearly taking responsibility, working to improve, and maintaining the right mentality. The truth is that our defense as a whole is still adjusting. We have new pieces, schemes being refined, and chemistry being built. 2 close games against undefeated teams isn't the end of the world, especially considering the level of competition we faced. And you know what else? Moss is right when he says the defense played better against the Chargers than against the Steelers. There was clear progression, adjustments being made, and moments of individual brilliance. The problem is that in the NFL, especially in divisional games, like against the Chargers, there's no room for almost. Either you execute perfectly in crucial moments, or you go home with a bitter defeat. But let me say something you might not have thought about. These painful losses might be exactly what our team needs to take the next step. Sometimes you need to feel the pain of defeat to find that extra motivation that separates good teams from great teams. And Riley Moss, he's showing exactly the kind of leadership and responsibility we want to see from our players. Instead of hiding behind excuses or blaming others, he's looking in the mirror and taking his share of collective responsibility. That's Denver Broncos mentality, family. From the days of the Mile High Miracle to the glory days with Peyton Manning, we've always been a team that faces adversity head-on and uses it as fuel for greatness. Tell me, Broncos country, can you see the potential this kid has? Can you imagine how he'll be playing a few weeks from now when all this pressure and criticism transforms into experience and confidence? Because I guarantee you, great cornerbacks aren't born ready. They're forged in moments exactly like this. And Riley Moss has all the necessary material to become a fundamental piece of our defense for many years. Hey, and if you're true Broncos country and want to stay on top of everything that happens with our team, go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. Because every week I bring exclusive analysis, behind-the-scenes content, and everything that happens in the Denver Broncos world. Don't miss any play from our family. Now let me share a personal reflection with you, family. I've been following the Broncos for many years, went through ups and downs, saw great players being built and others wasting opportunities, and what I'm seeing in Riley Moss reminds me a lot of some of the best corners who have ever worn our jersey. It's not just physical talent, it's not just technique. It's the mentality, the ability to absorb pressure and transform it into performance. Do you remember how Chris Harris Jr. started in the league? It wasn't easy. He took hits from the media, from fans, and had to prove his worth game after game. Today, he's considered one of the best slot corners of the modern NFL era. Champ Bailey also went through difficult moments early in his career. He had games where he was criticized, where fans questioned if he had what it took to play at the elite level. And look what he became. Hall of Famer. I'm not saying Riley Moss will necessarily reach that level, but I'm saying he has the mental characteristics that separate great players from mediocre ones. And that family can't be taught. Either you have it or you don't. The ability to take responsibility after a painful defeat? Check. The determination to improve instead of playing victim? Check. The courage to keep playing aggressively even under intense pressure? Check. These are the ingredients that build elite cornerbacks in the NFL, and Moss has all of them. Now, talking about the bigger context of our season, family, we need to keep perspective. We're in September. The season has 17 games in the regular season plus playoffs. 2 close losses in the first 3 weeks don't define anything at all. Actually, these games are showing something very important. We're competitive against quality teams. We're not being run over. We're not being humiliated. We're losing by details in games that could have gone either way. And that Broncos country is a much better sign than if we were dominating weak teams. We're learning to play against the league's elite. We're being tested in the most critical moments, and we're growing from it. Riley Moss is the perfect example of this. Every snap he plays against elite receivers, every pressure situation he faces, every criticism he receives is contributing to his evolution as a player. And you know what's the best part? He's embracing all of it. He's not running from responsibility. He's not asking to be protected. He's not blaming others. He's taking on the challenge head on. There's going to be fire under our ass to start rolling here. That phrase sums it all up. It's not despair. It's not panic. It's pure determination. And talking about the next opportunity against the Bengals, family, this could be exactly the chance Moss needs to prove his worth. Joe Burrow is an exceptional quarterback, but he's also known for testing young corners. If Moss can make some important plays in this game, the entire narrative will change. Imagine this. Riley Moss making a crucial interception against Joe Burrow on Monday Night Football. Imagine him breaking up an important pass to Jamar Chase in a third down situation. Imagine him helping our defense achieve that complete performance we're looking for. These are the moments that define careers in the NFL. And from the mentality Moss is demonstrating, I have complete confidence that he's preparing to seize this opportunity. But regardless of what happens on Monday, family, one thing is certain. We have a player who represents Denver Broncos values: hard work, responsibility, determination, and the ability to grow under pressure, and that's something we should value and support, not destructively criticize. Because at the end of the day, it's this type of player who builds dynasties, who creates winning cultures, who transforms good teams into great teams. Riley Moss is on the right path, family, and we as Broncos country should be supporting this journey, not making it harder, because when he finally explodes and shows all his potential, and I believe that's going to happen soon, we'll be able to say we were by his side from the beginning, that we believed when others doubted, that we're a real family, and that Broncos country is the difference between a common fan base and the Denver Broncos family. We don't abandon our players at the first difficulty. We support, we encourage, and we grow together. Riley Moss took responsibility. Now it's our turn to take ours, support our cornerback and our team on the journey toward greatness. Because at the end of the day, family, that's what it means to be Broncos country. United in victory, united in defeat, and always united in the pursuit of excellence. So, Denver Broncos family, after everything we talked about today, what's your opinion on Riley Moss? Do you think he has what it takes to become an elite cornerback in our defense? Or do you still have doubts about his potential? Comment down below with your honest opinion. I want to know if you're on our number 21 side or if you think he still needs to prove much more. And don't forget, always respect, because we're a family. If you enjoyed this deep analysis, hit that like button down there. Share it with your Broncos country friends who also need to hear this conversation. And of course, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news about our team. On Monday night, we'll all be united cheering against the Bengals. Riley Moss will have his chance to show his evolution. Our defense will be able to prove they're on the right track. And we'll be there supporting from the first to the last down Broncos country. Until the next video, and always remember, orange and blue till I die.